Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stay Busy Boxing YouTube channel. My name is Cameron, and today we're talking all about jump rope. Jump rope is utilized in about every combat sport gym, whether it's Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, doesn't matter. You're gonna see a bunch of ropes on the wall. So today we're gonna talk about how to utilize them, how to go from using it as a warm-up to all the way to taking it to making it a serious workout that will really help improve your cardio. So the first thing I want to touch on is why we jump rope. We jump rope a lot in combat sports, boxing especially being so cardio heavy. It is a great tool to build up that cardio. You can use it nice and easy like you're jogging, all the way up to basically sprinting, all with just one piece of equipment, and you don't need a lot of space. Sometimes you wake up to go run and it is pouring rain and it's just not feasible to get a good workout in. So you can always substitute with a good jump rope. You do not need a fancy rope, although mine is on the fancier side. It is by Box Rope. I really enjoy them because I like the white rope personally. It's easy for me to see while it's turning. They also have, specifically they make a 6'2" and oversized rope. Me being 6'3", having a rope that is too short is just almost impossible to jump with, which is why I choose this one. But a good guide on if your jump rope is the right size is if you can put it under your foot. It should come up somewhere between the middle of your chest and your shoulders. So that's kind of standard for everybody. With time, you'll figure out what you like based on what kind of tricks and moves you like to do. You may want different lengths, but just for standard, that's what you're looking for, between here and here. Another reason we love to jump rope in the boxing gym is it is just a slightly more advanced form of the most basic plyometric, which is jumping, right? Boxing is done almost 70 to 80% with your legs. I know everyone likes to think that big and strong and punch, but really it all comes from your base and your kinetic chain. So making sure everything up top is in line and in sync with everything down low is imperative, and jumping rope is a great way to get them on the same page at the very beginning of your workout. So I know it seems like jumping rope is pretty self-explanatory, right? Get your rope, you jump over it. But you'd be surprised how many people, especially beginners in athletics in general, struggle jumping rope. And a good rule of thumb to know you're jumping at the right time and first start building that rhythm is right when the rope crosses your eye line, right? As soon as it's in your line of sight, that's when you jump. Now, if you're just beginning, just starting to learn, you're gonna wanna aim just to be able to do it for a while. You don't have to get all fancy. You can just do normal jumping, right? Just over and over and over. And I would say you really need to aim for that 20-minute mark. That's what people typically consider a warm-up. Most gyms I've been to, it's a show up in the gym, get laced up, jump rope for 20 minutes. So if you've never jumped rope before, that's the first thing you should do, is work your way up to jumping that 20 minutes straight. You don't need to get fancy. And once you have down the basic idea of jumping rope and you're doing it often and consistently, you're gonna start getting bored with just basic jumping. So you're basically gonna wanna learn a couple basic footwork techniques that you will do while you're jumping rope to kind of get your brain to put your hands and your feet together. Make sure they're on the same page. So we're gonna start off with some basic jumping before we move into our first piece of footwork, which is going to be heel touches. Very simple. All you gotta do is stick out your foot, tap that heel down, pull it back, and then do the other foot. Super basic, but very beneficial. Next, we're going to move into boxer skips, which is not too dissimilar, except your heel never touches the ground, and you're kind of doing half of a butt kicker before you kick that foot out. Our third movement is going to be jumping jacks, just without the top half of your body. It's really as simple as that. And lastly, we're going to transition into the ollie shuffle. This one, you typically want to do it a little bit more of a faster pace. So once you've been consistently jumping rope for a while and you got the basic jump down, you have all those basic footwork movements down, and you're looking to improve, make that next step up to an intermediate level jump roper. Basically, we're going to try to make it as realistic as possible as we can by understanding how you want to fight in boxing. In boxing, the last 30 seconds and the first 30 seconds of a round are very important, but the last 30 more than anything. So a traditional boxing timer is going to run for 3 minutes in your gym, pretty much non-stop, always. At the 2-minute and 30-second mark, you're going to hear a beep, 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 which basically means it's go time. The last 30 seconds of the round, you need to make your mark. You need to show those judges that you are still firing at a high pace, that you're not tired, and you're controlling the pace of the fight. So we're going to jump rope in the same manner by working off that boxing timer. The first 2 minutes and 30 seconds, stick to your basic footwork, stick to your rhythm, build that rhythm. And then the last 30, we're gonna switch to doing high knees and double unders for the last 30 seconds. So basically we're gonna start with our just normal jumping, and when that timer goes off, we're gonna transition into high knees as quick as you can, get them up and get them down. Then once again, we're gonna transition over into double unders, which is basically maximum effort. If you're doing it right, you're gonna feel it in your back and your shoulders as well. A few more variations we can start adding to our rhythm jumping is going to be crossing your feet both sides, just back and forth, nothing too crazy. Next is going to be my favorite, which is actually basically half of a pendulum step. It's not quite a pendulum step because you're not in your stance, but getting the footwork and working it both directions is quite beneficial. Eventually you will learn to switch stances and work both ways. And lastly, I really like to have always a variation of jumping on one leg. Some people like to do it in place. Personally, I like to swing one back and forth and kind of move side to side. Eventually, you'll kind of figure out your own style and you'll have fun with it. So once you consistently can do that intermediate workout for about 20 minutes, getting a couple sprints in there, you're going to be set. You're never really going to need to do more than that on a normal training day in your gym unless your coach instructs you otherwise. But let's say you get rained out of a run, especially on like a sprint day, and if it's wet and the ground's, you don't want to be out sprinting, it's unsafe. So you have a rope. What can you do? I like to set a 20-minute timer. With every minute, we're gonna hear a beep, 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 and the first minute is going to be rhythm. Focus on my footwork, focus on my connection between my body and my mind. Second minute is going to be purely the sprint. Third is back to rhythm. Fourth is back to sprint. Now, I know what you're thinking, that is a lot of sprint work. You are going to get tired. We're going to take advantage of that and work on controlling our breathing when the rhythm dies down. When you're going really fast pace and then you slow down, it's important to keep your legs under you, get your breath right. You need to go in your nose, out your mouth. And what's also important is that you do not show it on your face. Every great boxer has a wonderful poker face, because if you're in your corner between rounds, you're listening to your coach, but you're going to take a peek at that other guy, which means he's also going to take a peek at you. And if you're sitting there like you don't want to be there, or you're unsure if you're going to continue, that is going to light a fire under them. And when you guys step back out on that first bell, you are going to get rushed, and it is going to get very uncomfortable very quickly. So on those rhythm minutes, we're going to focus on controlling our breathing. Like I said, in your nose, out your mouth, nice and slow and controlled. And also, most of the time, you're going to have a mirror in a boxing gym or a space like this where you can look at yourself. I want you to try to keep the straightest face you can. It is another tool. Though it may seem like something little, there's a place for any and everything in boxing, and getting those little details right are what really make guys great. So that's pretty much going to wrap up our tutorial on jump and rope. There's not too much more I can talk about it, except you need to stay consistent. Just like everything in and around the boxing gym, as soon as you're gone 2 or 3 days, you're going to come back and feel like you lost 6 days of progress. So it is very important that you skip rope. Maybe you only do 10 minutes a day. Maybe you like to do 30 because you're feeling good. Whatever you do, just keep jumping. Well, that's going to wrap us up for today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the tutorial, hear me out, and hopefully you learned something or two. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know what was the most beneficial thing for you and how you're going to utilize it going forward. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Remember to stay busy.